Good evening and welcome to the Lopatcong Township Planning Board meeting of October 2018. At this time, I would like to invite you to join us in a silent moment of prayer, followed by the oath of allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'm required to state that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Beth, may I have a roll call, please?
Yes. Members Archesky?
Yes.
Pryor?
Here.
Schneider?
Here.
Weeks?
Here.
Mayor Mangucci?
Here.
Vice Chairman Fishback?
Here.
Chairman Van Vliet?
Here.
Alternate Steinhardt? And alternate Klein.
Here.
We have a quorum. We'll start off with old business. Has everyone received a copy of the minutes from the August 22nd, 2018 meeting? Are there any questions, additions, comments? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion.
Do I hear a second?
Who made that motion?
Tom.
Okay.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining?
I have to abstain. I wasn't there.
Same.
Okay. They're approved. I think we'll move right to the new business for Clymer Village, and since we have the applicant here, and we will, it goes to the planning board rules and regulations to after the new business, if that's okay. Is the applicant here for Clymer Village?
We are, Mr. Chairman.
Well, thank you.
And also with us is representative of the applicant and also Gene Weber, who prepared the site plan for the board's consideration.
Would you approach the podium, please?
This is a fairly simple, straightforward application. Minor site plan involving the addition of 4 parking spaces. Beverly Toribio from the applicant is here. She can indicate why this request is being made, and maybe if we could have her and Gene sworn at the same time.
I think we could do that.
That's fine.
Would you stand, please?
Just raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give this board is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, very good. Just state your names for the record.
Beverly Toribio,
You spell your last name, Beverly.
Toribio.
Eugene Weber. Beverly, can you indicate what your affiliation is with the applicant?
I'm the property manager at Clymer Village.
And you're familiar with this application, that's
Yes,
correct?
yes.
All right, can you tell us what this application involves and basically why 4 parking spaces additionally are needed?
Right now, some of our residents are parking in the visitor lot, and the 4 parking spaces would give us 65 instead of the 61, and that would take care of the cars that we anticipate having.
Why not more parking spaces than 4? Is there a reason?
Well, if we went further back, it would probably be a safety issue for the residents walking that far into the front of the building.
Now, you've had the opportunity to review both reports from Mr. Ritter as well as Mr. Sturbins in connection with this. And they've made certain recommendations, and we'll have Gene give some brief testimony on that, but you're willing to abide by those recommendations?
Yes.
As far as the addition of some additional curbing, addition of some lighting as well?
Yes, and the wall.
And
And
the
the-
extension of the retaining wall as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Gene, you want to come up and we'll address the professionals' reports? We'll take Paul's first, I guess.
Yeah, so we've received both the engineer's report and the report from Mr. Ritter, and as indicated, we take no exception to any of the requests that have been made. I did, in reading it, I think there's maybe 2 items on there that require some testimony be put on the record here. And I'm referring to Mr. Skirvin's report under his technical comments, comment number 1.03. He requests that a parking calculation be provided for the site demonstrating how the expansion will address the parking requirements in the land use ordinance. So the response to that is, in reviewing the land use ordinance, for this type of use, the ordinance doesn't specifically address parking requirements for this type of use. So there's no way of determining whether we comply or don't comply because there isn't a standard for it. The site, I can say this, the site, there was an expansion of parking approved by this board in a previous site plan back in 2002 that Mace Consulting Engineers did. And at that time, the plan was approved for 61 parking spaces. And that's what was constructed out there. And again, even at that time, I don't believe there was a comparison to the ordinance requirements because there isn't any requirement. So we're simply trying to add 4 parking spaces for this application. So that should suffice for that item. The other item I think that requires some testimony is item 3.04 in the engineer's report, testimony as to the adequacy of the stormwater system on the site. And the response to that is the addition is only 4 spaces. We're adding only about 1,800 square feet of impervious area. There's actually a fairly large detention basin on the property already. In fact, it's about almost equivalent to the size of a football field, really, so it's fairly substantial. Just doing some rough estimates, the amount of increase in flow by virtue of adding this impervious surface over the grass that it is right now, it would increase the flows, in my estimation, by about 0.2 CFS or something, even less than 1 CFS, very small. So I would be fairly confident, or very confident, that this little extra flow is not going to affect the system on the site or the stormwater management basin. It should be fine. And I think, as I said, other than that, I don't think any other testimony is required unless you have any other questions or...
Kind of jumped the gun a little bit here. It wasn't deemed complete first, but basically, if you look at Paul Sturban's report, I think he does recommend granting of a couple of waivers to deem it complete, so the board can then consider the application.
I think we should do that first, we'll deem it complete. Any questions on the completeness? May I have a motion to deem the application complete?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Roll call, Beth, please.
Yes. Members Ochesky?
Yes.
Pryor?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Weeks?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Fishback?
Yes.
Chairman Van Fleet?
Yes.
Kleiner?
Okay, we'll move on to, you already provided the testimony.
Yeah, we have no testimony. We take no exception to any of the comments, and
Yeah, mine was housekeeping, just adding additional notes and bringing the summary tables for parking and that stuff up to date, that's all.
I just did a quick question, and I didn't read Mazur's report, so maybe this was addressed. The flow all seems to be down towards the building, and then there's gravel along the building. Where does the runoff go?
Where does the runoff go?
Yeah.
The runoff goes towards...
You start off at 381, and then it's pretty steady towards the building.
It flows towards Baltimore Street, and then there's an inlet in the parking area near Baltimore.
Directed towards the parking area after it comes down up the hill?
Yes, yes, it gets onto the
Then it
parking.
takes it out to Baltimore?
To Baltimore, there's an inlet at right in the parking lot, not on Baltimore Street, but there's an inlet in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Close to Baltimore Street, and then from there it goes to another inlet, further to the east in the parking lot, and then further east after that, discharging over into the detention basin, which is over on the east side of the building. So none of the runoff goes to the roads. It runs, off the mound there.
Yeah, I see it's not going to go to the road. My question is, just get trapped along the building there.
No, it drains towards the inlets towards Baltimore Street.
Yeah, I don't think you can really tell that from the little bit of topo on here. No, that's why I asked him.
We were discussing curb or something like that when you're looking at it?
No, I mean, the applicant agreed to add the curb as requested and as required by the ordinance, so we're, happy with that. And as far as the lighting, I don't know if Gene had a chance to review the lighting on the site, or is that area lit currently? Or how is that, or will there be need for adding additional building mounted lighting?
Well, I think that was a good point. I think that side of the parking lot over there is probably not illuminated very well, and now that we're expanding it, it could probably use some additional illumination. So yeah, we've agreed to add one new pole-mounted light in that area to provide a little better illumination.
Concerns, safety concerns, really, so.
Board members have any questions? Good. Okay. I want to entertain a motion to approve the minor site plan approval.
Motion.
Minor site plan.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Roll call, Beth, please.
Yes. Members Archeski?
Yes.
Fryer?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Weeks?
Yes.
Mayor McMurphy?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Fishback?
Yes.
And Van Lee?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Chairman, thank the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Simple as that's right.
Exactly.
Oh, cool, that's good. We got it. Back to the planning board rules and regulations, is there any more comments on that, or additions, or how we're doing? And I think we're getting to the point where we need to come up with some form, print up those rules and regulations, have the members sign them, that they received them, and acknowledge they read them. So, can we proceed with that?
Do you need a motion for that, or?
No, I don't think so. It was
voted on before.
more to do it, but just taking it to where we're going to make it official. Okay, if you could prepare something that for us, and we'll take care of that. After this, I'll open it up to the audience. Is there any questions? John, you okay? Okay. Seeing no audience participation, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Sorry, I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I keep meaning to ask it, but we always go over time, so I didn't want to ask. I've been asked by a couple of residents, and I myself are kind of intrigued to find out what is going on with the asphalt plant. Are they building? Are they not building? It's been quite some time since you gave them final approval. So have we heard anything? Do we know anything?
I'll defer to our engineer.
The site's under construction currently.
It's currently under construction?
Correct. So they're currently working on grading, stormwater improvements, site infrastructure type things.
Okay.
Curbs.
Okay.
So
Thank
it
you.
is currently under construction, sure.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.